ain't going to just wait around for a certain person and put my career on hold for some guy who doesn't want to fight. Whoever the best and the most dangerous opponent is out there, then I'll take that guy.
I don't even think anyone wants to see these fights. They want to see Tyson Fury versus Usyk, or they want to see Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua.
As fans, we want to see an undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. It hasn't been happening since Lennox Lewis.
Or is Francis Ngannou back in play with all these things?
Fight fans, welcome back.
Tyson, he's going to make, I don't know, 30, 40 million to fight a guy that couldn't beat him if they fought a million times.
What do you value more? The skill or the show?
So, smart business, bad for legacy.
The ability or controversy? A slick counter or a sharp tongue?
Because I'm going to make everybody in this fucking room rich if they bet on me.
Boxing purists stay winning as the best finally fight the best.
When you want to win something this big, you got to risk it all.
And whilst the heavyweight division drags its feet, still stuck in pantomime mode, an unexpected hero versus villain collision between two of the sport's baddest men might just make the spotlight burn that bit brighter when the undisputed leap of faith finally happens.
Anyway likely, but Francis has insane power, and I know what you're saying.
The hero, MMA's most dangerous, a humble champion with freakish genetics and lights out power.
Oh, this is sick!
You think you can knock him out?
Oh yeah, 100% I believe I can knock it out.
The villain, the king of the heavyweight division, unparalleled in terms of skill, speed, and showmanship.
Tyson Fury is the player in this. He is not the game. And you know the age-old saying, can't hate the player, you got to hate the game.
We have technically seen it all before, but the higher up the weight classes you go, the more the rule book begins to bend.
All right, fans, here. Francis Ngannou! Wow. Finally come. Do like what I'm seeing from Tyson Fury now. Oh, this is the show! Oh my goodness! Like
here we take a closer look at the Gypsy King Tyson Fury versus the Predator Francis Ngannou.
And if you happen to be a Dana White hater, you want Francis Ngannou to win.
Welcome to a Motivedia presentation.
Who'd not want to watch that?
Listen.
Anything can happen, you know.
Feels like he's in a good position where he could fight lesser opponents and make more money. So we're gonna let him do that.
As of today, as of yesterday, as of whenever, he's a free agent and he can fight wherever he wants.
It seemed perfectly synchronized, maybe even a little too synchronized.
It's been 3 long years since the man they called Johnny Bones put on a show. Now he's looking to prove his dominance at 205 pounds will continue up at heavyweight.
Francis Ngannou became a free agent after struggling to secure a new deal, and John Jones made his move up to fight Cyril Gane for the vacant heavyweight strap.
Third fastest submission in UFC heavyweight title history.
Wow. That feels really good. That feels really good.
John Jones is the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
Now it's undeniable.
It's undeniable.
There was all this debate until he submitted Cyril Gane and became the heavyweight champion. No one could with that.
Everybody watching did not bet. Long leg off. He's too athletic. He went, say less. Check this out. There's your world champ, heavyweight world champ.
No, I'm not scared. The only thing that I'm scared of is to be trapped, to lose my freedom, which I value very much.
For Francis, options became plentiful.
And I just looked at some of these clues. Where is Francis going to go? And can he carry a pay-per-view?
I mean, that's the question. Where's he going to turn up? There's, some chatter in the professional boxing world that he may show up there. Obviously, I'm hopeful that we do get him signed when it comes to the pay-per-view model for the PFL.
Despite the fighting business's baddest man garnering tons of interest, the numbers, in terms of MMA at least, just didn't stack up.
One has decided to withdraw from the process of bidding for Francis Ngannou's services. He added, I didn't feel that Francis and I were fully aligned on non-financial terms.
Every day that he has not signed a boxing fight, his value is going down. And it's scary to watch because honestly, this guy's gone through way too much to end up getting frozen out and not get paid.
And we await the arrival of the two men who everybody have come to see tonight. 94,000 people, a record crowd for a boxing match in Europe.
Either way, a year prior, in May of 22,
Discussion, it comes down to 12 rounds between a man who was born to fight against a man who's had to fight.
After Tyson put away White in the 6th.
And it's very, very messy in there, but Tyson Fury's in control. Fury with the uppercut! What a punch!
I believe Dylan will be a world champion, but tonight he met a great in the sport and one of the greatest heavyweights of all times.
Francis found his way into the ring.
I want to bring in Francis Ngannou. Francis!
To be met with an expectedly rowdy and off-the-cuff Fury.
He's a good-looking chappy, isn't he? Yeah. Have you got a big Tory? No, big Francis Ngannou was here today. He's on my hit list. However he wants it, in a cage, in the boxing ring. I think everyone wants to see he's a monster of a guy.
And we're gonna find out who is the baddest motherfucker on the planet.
The pair set their stall out for the future, but it seemed like one of those what-if fights that would, more than likely, never actually come to fruition.
I was starting to feel like the boxing community was trying to box you out a little bit. Did you start to get nervous that this boxing dream would not happen, that you would just not be able to find an opportunity?
Imagine me and him in a cage, 4-ounce gloves on, under Queensberry rules. And maybe we even get like a star referee, like a Mike Tyson to ref it or something like that.
Meet halfway. Instead of a ring, put it in a cage, 8-ounce MMA gloves.
Going to go fight in a cage fight. They're going to wear 4-ounce gloves.
The smaller the gloves, the more trouble he's in. This guy is a gypsy king.
Yeah. They say whatever makes money makes sense. And so for Francis, boxing, regardless of the risks, was a no-brainer.
What if he knocks out Dillian White? Right? What if they set him up with some boxer who's an elite boxer, not Tyson Fury?
Speaking of big fights, super fights, Eddie Hearn, who's a famous boxing promoter, said recently that he feels like he can make a fight between you and Dillian White.
Somebody like Francis Ngannou, that'd be good.
Ngannou,
you know what I mean? But if he connects with you, good night, mate. Good night.
Ngannou against Dillian White, mate. He's an absolute monster. Mate, that's a monster.
Let's go. Get on it.
Over the next 12 months, Ngannou would be sized up against all of the heavyweight high flyers, and his team trod carefully to make the right move at the right time.
No Francis Ngannou, newly signed with the PFL, is willing. Randy's going to put up the money. Kenny's going to put up the rest of it.
Sure.
We need to make this happen.
Do you think he could make it in boxing to any sort of level?
Yeah, he'd be knocking guys out, man. If we're talking money fights, I'd say Joshua would be the money fight because of how well known he is. Fury, I think people know quite comfortably that he will school Ngannou.
And he truly believes that he can beat any heavyweight in the game, including the title holders at the current time.
Fury, on the other hand, was becoming somewhat of a self-inflicted free agent.
The truth of the matter is, they're all pussies. They've had opportunities to fight.
As he too scoured the rankings, struggling to find a dance partner that truly motivated him.
They say they want to fight me to get themselves in the papers, and then there's no substance behind it. Because if there is, come over, tell us how much money you want, let's get a deal done, and let's fight.
People are beginning to get an impression, which you're trying to correct, that the reasons why deals don't happen is not, I don't think Tyson Fury's ducking people. I think he makes it difficult to do business with him.
I think there's been a lot of talk of me and Ngannou fighting each other, and he wants to come to boxing, he wants to fight me. He was even at one of my last fights, got in the ring, confronted me. Potential. We've having a lot of offers come from the Middle East at the moment to host that fight.
Criticism of the Gypsy King neared an all-time high as the Undisputed fight slipped away from the fans' grasp.
I accept your offer, 70-30.
But we'll get to that later.
Usyk has got to fight Daniel Dubois, right? And he holds the other 2 belts. So there isn't anybody else, any other champion to fight.
Usyk aside, the remaining available opponents were an assortment of high-risk, low-reward types.
What about Makhmudov? What does he rank?
Number 5.
Number 5 in the WBC.
Arslanbek Makhmudov or Frank Sanchez, they're 4 and 5, Frank.
I mean, what planet are you on? We're in the business of selling events here.
You're saying that not one of your heavyweights right now are suitable enough to take on Tyson Fury.
He wants them easy fights for the most money because this man does not care about legacy.
Okay.
So you've got to wait. But
What could possibly... The only thing, honestly...
It'll be a game changer.
You know what's a game changer to me? Him versus Francis Ngannou.
Tyson Fury versus anybody at this stage generates money, but the ideology of a super fight between 2 of the baddest men in their respective sports made Fury versus Ngannou too big to avoid.
Fury will fight former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou at the end of October in Saudi Arabia.
Francis, you did it. You did it, Francis.
Yes, man, we did this.
Félicitations.
It's finally going down. Merci beaucoup.
And I've never boxed an MMA fighter before, and he's awkward, and he's coming from different angles. And I got to give this man all the respect he deserves for stepping up to the plate when all the other fighters said no.
And his prize fighting is all about the money. But this fight against Ngannou, who's making his professional debut, he shouldn't have a chance, not even a puncher's chance.
Can't complain, you know. I'm happy for Francis Ngannou that he's obviously going to get a big payday and secure the bag himself.
But as we say here today, I'm only interested in one thing: getting Ngannou fought and beat, collecting my money and going all the way to the bank, clickety clank.
All together now!
Tyson Fury's ability to switch from athlete to showman in a split second is one of the things that's helped craft him into one of the sport's standout names.
Tyson, who's as big a heavyweight as you're ever going to see. 6'9", long as
crazy,
agile.
His graceful slips and slides, followed by a trademark post-fight rendition.
I think I was born to do this. I'm a natural entertainer.
I'd like to sing a little song for you all right here in the ring. Here we go. I'm not just a boxer. Let's do it.
So this is to my UK fans, my Irish fans, my American fans, and my new German fans.
However, the lines have become a little blurry, and boxing fans are frustrated to see the showman getting more airtime than the athlete.
Thank you very much! Vegas, I love you, baby!
3-time best-selling author, #1 on Netflix, heavyweight champion of the world. Is there anybody else like me? Oh, and by the way, did I mention I'm a WWE superstar?
It's a shame, because the hard-hitting and aggressive version of Tyson Fury that we've seen of late is an absolute specimen to watch.
You gotta fear a man that tells you what he's gonna do.
What I'm going to do to Deontay Wilder this time is I'm going to run him over as if I'm an 18-wheeler and he's a human being.
And then goes into the ring and does it. Fury said, I'm gonna rough him up and I'm gonna knock him out. And he did just that.
Skip, they can fight 20 more times, and Deontay Wilder will never beat Tyson Fury.
I don't know any other heavyweight in the world or in history who could do to Wilder what Tyson Fury is doing here tonight. It's all over, and Wilder is beaten, and Fury gets the stoppage he craves.
In recent interviews, we saw Carl Froch take aim at Anthony Joshua's accomplishments.
And on the slide, maybe it niggles him that he's probably got no real legacy.
And whether you think it's jealousy, clickbait, or bang on the money, the conversation soon switched to Tyson Fury.
That's what this is. It's a joke. And he's not in the joke business. He's the WBC heavyweight champion, and he needs to be fighting and defending that title as far as I'm concerned. It's a great event.
It's a feature.
But would you say it's a great event, or one you want? Well, you've said you want to watch it because it's one of them. I think it's one of them you don't want to miss because you want to see what happens.
Come on!
To people like Bellew saying this is a freak show and other people saying it's just for money.
Haters gonna hate, bitches gonna hate. Bellew, so is Carl Froch. There you go, bars. Two old boys who people wrote off all their careers. We ain't done bad, have we?
Regardless of his ever-changing stance on money, legacy, and status, it's hard to see Fury pulling the curtains on his career without that undisputed super fight.
Undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of the world. The seduction of being able to be that one guy that ever did that, he can't pass it up.
Where I'm standing, Usyk, you and your team are worth 30%. You either take it or you leave it. But I will say, for every day from today that you linger, mess around, I'm going to deduct 1% from the 30%.
Hey, Greedy Belly, I accept your offer. 70-30.
Brilliant. I mean, Usyk's called his bluff, and now it's on Tyson Fury. No escape now.
The ongoing public negotiations became somewhat of a pantomime back in March, but both sides stick firmly to their side of the story.
The bottom line is that Usyk wants to walk away with what he feels he's going to get $75 million to do the fight.
But I just spoke to Frank Warren now, and he said that he's willing to bet $1 million if you guys could provide proof that you made offers to Tyson Fury.
We never had an offer.
We've never had an offer from anybody. Somebody show it to me and I'll donate £1 million to any charity if they can pick out the charity.
He would rather tell why didn't Tyson Fury agree for that £1 million that Usyk put as the condition. That might damage his reputation, let's say.
He don't want Ukrainian Klitschko dinner, and I'll do you as well, Gappy Teeth. You ugly little man.
Fury, in the midst of it all, certainly didn't do himself any favors.
You must have saw the size of me yourself, you know, gappy tooth, ugly. Sign the contract.
Usyk, you gappy teeth, ugly, bog-eyed rabbit cat, ugly piece of you are getting knocked the out.
Coming to you, gappy teeth, little pow, proper little bag, bog-eyed, gappy teeth, ugly little rat.
And what's happening is Tyson Fury knows how difficult the fight is with Alexander Usyk, and he has an amount of money in his head that he wants for that fight. That money is not achievable.
When you got a message for Usyk?
I'm coming for the little sausage. Rabbit, run, run.
You know, Usyk's an amazing boxer, an incredible boxer, but I feel like he's going to be undersized. If you want an actual standout feature fight, you can't do any better than one of the best heavyweight boxers that's ever lived against one of the best heavyweight MMA fighters that have ever lived.
Ultimately, a lesser risk and higher reward was on the horizon. And better still, as controversial as it is, the Ngannou fight probably only helps make the eventual Undisputed fight even bigger.
Would this be the biggest upset in heavyweight boxing history if Francis was to win?
Because Fury can't lose to an MMA fighter, right?
He has a lot of things. He better just get ready for October 28th, because if he's not taking this seriously, I think he might get surprised and get some regret for his life.
He does things that just seem like abnormal and outlandish because he is so powerful that he can just shut anybody's lights out.
Most people are most often introduced to Francis Ngannou by watching him knock Alistair Overeem off his
was just backwards in that one photo. That's like an iconic, that's probably the most iconic heavyweight MMA fighting photo that there is.
Or being compared to a Ford Escort in terms of punching power.
At the 96 horsepower, which is equal to getting hit by a Ford Escort going as fast as it can.
Oh my! Knockout! Vicious uppercut!
To the fire with Ngannou, you go to sleep. Oh my goodness!
That's it! Ngannou closes the show!
More powerful than a 12-pound sledgehammer swung full force from overhead. Holy shit.
And from watching his fights or highlights, you'll be pressed to find a scarier man amongst the current crop.
And introducing arguably the most powerful athlete in the history of combat sports.
Clearing out the UFC's heavyweight layers of dominance.
No matter how beastly you are and how powerful you are with those punches, eventually you're going to get clipped. Right. You're going to go down.
He hits as hard as a small family car. It's okay being a big strong puncher in a target that don't move, but it's pretty difficult hitting this hand full power when it's moving like that. So you can't hit what you can't see.
But the what-ifs that surround Ngannou and boxing's elite are nothing new.
How do you reckon Francis could get on in boxing?
Not very well.
Who's he got the best chance of beating?
Wilder.
Really?
Well, he's the worst boxer.
Francis is, after all, a boxer turned MMA fighter, not the other way around.
First day, he told me, you have good potential, but in France, MMA is better. And then I see, what is MMA?
He arrived at the UFC, he just went crazy because everybody loves to see knockouts, and that's what you do.
Yes, but...
and you do them in a spectacular way.
However, amongst professional boxers, it's hard to say fundamentally where he'd fit in.
I think I can beat everybody. You know, it won't be an easy fight, basically, in the boxing rules, but I can beat anybody, and I would get prepared, you know.
As soon as that bell goes, what's he going to do, Ngannou? He can only do one thing. He's got to go and try and put it on Tyson. He's got to try and knock him out. Can he do it? And that's what we're going to see.
How would he fare against an Efe Ejagba, a Charles Martin, or even a Kevin Johnson? Most people would think you're crazy to even put him this high.
I don't see Ngannou as a boxer. If you see, he throws hands from everywhere. You cannot expect. That's a dangerous thing.
But with size and strength like Francis has, come the question marks.
I said he's got to come in and try. In my opinion, he's as dangerous as the next heavyweight.
As strong a guy as Ngannou is, it's a boxing match.
They all oppose the same threat, and I think he's in the mix with them. Ngannou, he's a big lump like the rest of them. He can punch hard like the rest of them, and I think he will get stuck in more so than the rest of them.
There's zero chance that anything is going to happen but Fury winning. And Fury could probably knock him out at will.
You know, Tyson Fury's Tyson Fury. Does what he wants, really. It won't be competitive.
One of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time, going in against one of my MMA guys. We saw this movie before.
Right.
Well, it's hard to... $100 million in the Floyd Mayweather fight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's generational wealth.
And that's what Ngannou, I guess, wanted too. And it's just like, man, they probably did that one time and we're like, all right, you know what?
Yeah.
That was a whole
What's
a whole
also...
lot.
Let's be honest, he shouldn't have a chance, not even a puncher's chance. We saw what happened with Mayweather and Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
It was a mismatch. Mayweather was holding him up, taking his time, making a show of it.
McGregor is a MMA guy, and that's a different sport than boxing. And if McGregor fought as a boxer, it's a joke. Shouldn't be allowed.
In the UFC, Conor McGregor coined it as Red Panty Night, when fighters step up to earn career-high purses and life-changing money.
It's time to fight me. It's a celebration. You ring back home. You ring your wife. Baby, we done it. Conor McGregor made us rich. Break out the red panties.
Ironically, the Irishman was gifted a red panty night of his own when dollar signs lured him into the boxing world.
They talk about it, I'll be about it. That's what he got.
He's a small man, so he looks frail to me. But I see a half a fire. I see a man who would be easily and will be easily dismantled.
There is nothing these can do to faze me. I'm getting fight checks and promoter checks. When Floyd was 28, he was on Oscar De La Hoya's undercard.
We're now finally bringing back boxing, bringing back that excitement with Anthony Joshua and Canelo Alvarez, Triple G. This can be another setback.
One, two, three.
And Floyd Mayweather seals his place in boxing history forever.
I didn't anticipate that. Three game changes in the fight. That's what a true champion does. Much respect.
Though whilst the MMA world celebrates and Francis gets his golden moment,
Just be happy for Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
He took a gamble. It could have massively blew up in his face, and it's paid off.
this matchup is far, far more dangerous. Floyd was 40 years old with brittle hands and diminished power. Tyson Fury is a giant in his athletic peak, hitting harder and more aggressively than ever.
But it's less likely because the level of damage you will receive from that one mistake you make is significantly more than the level of damage you'll receive at a lighter weight.
The two characters that will meet October 28th in Riyadh are very different. Ngannou is a cool, calm killer, and Tyson Fury is the ultimate wind-up merchant.
When I go to sleep every night, I see your ugly face before I go to sleep, and I dream about knocking your head off every time.
A certain level of respect is guaranteed, but it'll be interesting to see whether or not Fury brings any of the pre-fight heat that lit up the Wilder trilogy.
How am I going to let this little skinny spaghetti hoop man beat me? How am I going to do that? You're not going to feel no
Oh, boy, you gonna think about me.
And whether Francis will bite.
He's pretty good at it, acting like a fool, but he's very serious at what he does. Come up and play and say, I'm fat this, that. No, bro, you're the best boxer in the world, and you come say, no. I take very serious, and I don't pay attention on those stuff.
I'm 170, he's 270 pounds, so it's going to be an explosive fight when it happens.
As you look down the tail of the tape, sheer size stands out as the trump card for both of these man mountains. From past opponents, Dillian White stands roughly the same height as Francis, Chisora slightly smaller. And whilst the weigh-in will draw Joshua Ruiz vibes with the body type comparisons, it will be Fury that claims all the advantages on paper. An extra 2 inches of reach, 2 years younger, and an abundance of experience. As always with these types of fights, the more you look at it, the harder and harder it gets to make a case for Francis.
It looks like this fight is happening, and I think it's not going to go the way that most people think.
What's the harder fight, Tyson Fury or John Jones?
Oh, Tyson Fury. I mean, John Jones is a hard fight, but I'm fighting in a sport that I'm doing. I'm more confident, I'm more comfortable in that fight than with Tyson Fury.
A little bit of a mismatch. Or at least Fury's made it look that way.
Fury was, and probably still is, one of the most deceptively skilled fighters on earth.
The referee is close to stopping it.
His style is hectic, yet calculated. His body doughy, yet durable. His work can look rushed at times, but in reality, everything is moving like clockwork.
Fury with the uppercut! What a punch! The right uppercut!
All this, combined with the sheer size of the man, makes finding sparring partners to replicate his style near impossible.
Can't really get his style anywhere else. No one can replicate his style. You're only going to get it sparring him. I mean, he's awkward. He keeps you guessing all the time. And he keeps you thinking. If you ain't got a high boxing IQ, you're going to get caught and you're going to get put away. So yeah.
Fury is going to feel like he's got 8 arms in there for Francis, and openings are going to be few and far between. If he does find an angle, it'll most likely come in the first couple of rounds. And whilst one huge shot could set the crowd alight and get the adrenaline pumping, it'll be the composure, awareness, and gas tank of Ngannou that burns under the microscope.
Mike Tyson being involved in Francis Ngannou's corner is enormous. Confidence, emotional intelligence, fighting intelligence, all that stuff that he can bring.
Tyson will set the pace, and he's unlikely to take any risks early on.
This time there can be no joking. This has got to be for real.
He'll know that MMA stamina doesn't translate to boxing stamina.
His belief in himself is incredible, but even that is not enough if you fight a better boxer and your body gets tired.
Nor, with 10-ounce gloves on, does power.
Because he has freakish power in 4-ounce gloves. It's different. I'm not saying the man don't hit with 10-ounce gloves. If he hits, but it is still different.
Likewise, the unpredictability and rawness of a pro boxing debutante will keep Fury honest.
Obviously, I'm Fury's height and size, so it's very ideal sparring for him.
Ngannou's previous boxing experience needs to be substantially better than people give him credit for.
So yeah, he definitely has everything it takes, and probably a little bit more. So.
And his power needs to be every single bit as brutal.
You definitely feel it. I mean, he's the world record holder for a reason. You know, that man is strong.
If you let him hit you, he can hit you really hard.
So if he can wear down the Cameroonian and drag him comfortably into the second half of the fight, it will be cat and mouse.
And that emotion of, I'm the baddest. You get a little bit angry, and you realize, I'm willing to do anything to beat this dude.
Ngannou!
For 2 men who had all the odds set against them, the stage will be bigger than ever.
Fury!
As both names and brands grow exponentially.
And Fury's still entertaining. I'm happy. Are you going to tune in?
Yes, I like both sports. I'll be watching.
Well, there you go. I'm going to tune in as well.
So despite critics looming large as the undisputed fight drifts out of sight,
I'm ready tomorrow.
It could still come sailing back around in a bigger, better, and badder fashion.
Listen, we both made millions out of this. We're going to be millionaires tomorrow.